Hi guys, here we are again, another Solomon's Tales. They keep going. So Solomon just arrived in Krabi. So he's been away a few days now on this trip. And oh no, comes down the main drag towards the beach and gets the taxi just to drop him off. Just up from McDonald's. He heads to the hotel he stayed before. But full, no good. But the guy there pointed him a couple of doors up, it's another hotel, similar layout, design. So he wanders up and in. Sure enough, 800 baht a night. Says okay, goes on in, and there's a pool at the back again. That's good, they've all got little pools. But this place had some really nice rooms by the pool. Lucky got one of those. And opposite in the corner is a bar area, bit of a cafe. There's a couple of girls sat there. Anyway, goes in the room, chucks his stuff in, and pokes his head out the door, looks at these cafe and these girls, and the girls sort of beckon him over. And he goes, okay. He goes over to this cafe area. There's two girls sat down, no one else around. Pool looks inviting. Anyway, these girls, come sit down. And he, okay. One girl looks a bit like a bar girl, the way she's dressed, but she had gold necklace, gold bracelet, rings, so a bit of money. So, she looks a bit upmarket to be working here. The other girl looked more like a cleaner, hired help, and they were eating. Anyway, they said, I'll tuck into the food, and he's, okay. Grab some chicken or whatever, and the girl said, you want a drink from the bar? Yeah, okay. Chang, fridge full of Chang. Okay, give me a Chang. He starts chatting to these girls, and the one with the gold and stuff speaks quite good English. Anyway, a couple of minutes in, eating and drinking, a tall, thin guy with glasses, sort of national, sort of tinted sunglasses, glasses, you know, national health type or whatever they are. Tall and thin, comes wandering around. He's got a nice shirt on and shorts. Turns out he's from Denmark, and he speaks good English, and it's his hotel. And he introduces himself, can't remember his name, but says hi. Put his hand around this girl's shoulder, the one with the gold. Ah, there it is, there's the connection. That's his missus. And then just chats to her, says about he's going to have to do a job or something, and says goodbye and walks off. Oh, nice guy. So that's it then. Boss's missus and the cleaner hired help who maybe works the bar. Anyway, Solomon thinks I'm going to have a chill, I might have a swim. So he finishes that beer and says to the girl how much. She said, well, just put it on the bill, pay at the end. Okay. Back to the room, throws his swimming shorts on, dives in the pool, has a swim. Gets out after a bit and lies on one of the sun chairs and just lies there contemplating life. What's happening? He's 4 months in now to his trip, his 1 year trip. He wants to work in Asia. Before he went over this trip, a friend had told him that you can get jobs in Thailand as teachers, and this is 15 years ago, remember. And this friend had told him, go online and there's a course, a couple of £100, and Solomon did this before he came over. It was a 6-week course, a couple of £100, and he got a certificate at the end. It was a TEFL, a teacher of English foreign language, TEFL or whatever it's called. So he got that with the thought that he could teach in Asia if needed, but he doesn't fancy it. But he's qualified. And he's, you know, it's something he could fall back on. But he's lay there thinking, you know, why he didn't stay in Hat Yai because of that incident. Lovely place, he's going to have to go back one day and explore it more. But when he got to the Malaysian border, why didn't he go off into Malaysia and have a wander around? He'd heard it's quite expensive. He's starting to dip into his savings now. You know, the money he keeps winning from these little contests doesn't go far. And he's starting to think, 4 months in, I've got to seriously think about work. I really fancy working in some sort of bar, but don't know how I could get one of those jobs. And he's only been a couple of days away, and he's missing Pattaya, he's missing Ning, Frozen. It's like a safety net there. If he's got any problems, the girls would help him out. He feels it's like a second home now. And he's thinking, I miss it already. Only been away a few days. I actually miss the place, even though it's crazy busy, and it's just something is drawing him back there. He's thinking, don't think I'm going to stay here. Maybe, you know, the one night. Really fancy going back and start the search properly, see if there's any work. He's sort of made his mind up, but he's not sure. Anyway, afternoon goes by. Dives in his room, has a shower and changes. Thinks he's gonna get some evening food. Just have a wander down the front, around the shops and things. I'm not gonna do the bars and the girls, and just gonna relax and chill. So off he goes. Down the road to the beach, round the corner. There's only one road really in Onang. And he wanders along, recognises a few of the places and the shops and bars. And he just keeps walking past the shops and just keeps going, and he's like, keeps going. There's a bit of a marina on the beach side, and then the road curves around and goes off, and he remembers there's a few bars further on, quite a long walk past some hotels or resorts, and then there's a bit of a market and a few bars, some restaurants up there. So he just keeps walking and walking and walking, and a fair distance, maybe 1 kilometre along the road. Gets to that area, spots the restaurants over by the beach, and it's one bigger restaurant, sort of, it's all in the wood effect and built out of sort of trees, and it's just like a cabin-y type restaurant. He thinks, I'm going to spoil myself and go and have some food there. So he goes across in, and they've got steaks and all sorts in there, ribs, the lot, and he pushes the boat out, gets himself a steak, and a really nice steak as well, very nice. Not like him, but yeah, steak. Cost him about 300 baht, which is a lot for an evening meal in Thailand. So he finishes his steak, he's just looking over the water, it's beautiful. Looks across the road and he can see a few bars, and he thinks, I'm going to have a few beers. It's quiet, there's not many people about. Anyway, pays his bill, crosses the road, and he picks a bar right next to the road. There's only a girl behind the bar. One of the girls sat on the other side of the bar. No customers, so they're happy to see him. And he sits there, has a few hours, drinking, talking to the two girls. A few customers come along at the road, and there's a few backpackers in the area. But not many people around at all, quite quiet. Anyway, a couple of hours later, he thinks, that's it, I'm going to go and crash. And tomorrow, I think I'm going to head back to Pattaya. So, he walks back a good mile, 1.5 kilometres back to the hotel, all the way along the front and up the road, past McDonald's, up the hill. As he's going up the hill, he sees on the right that little alleyway where all the bars are, and he can, all the music's going. There's quite a few customers down there, he noticed, and he thinks, no, I'm not. He's not doing it. He's had enough trouble with girls the last few days. Makes his way back, hotel, fair enough, early night, crashes. Next day comes, I think it's right, I'm going to go back. Goes to the reception, check out. He says to the girls on the reception, how do I get to Krabi Airport? What's the best? They say, taxi, it's about 350 baht. Just down the road. Loads of taxis. Okay, cool. And it's early, it's about 9 o'clock. Thinks I'll grab some food first, and then I'll head off to the airport, see if I can get a flight up to Bangkok. So wanders down opposite McDonald's on the other side of the road. There's a couple of little cafes. Dives in there and gets some breakfast. Again, not many people walking around, really quiet. Usually there's loads of backpackers, but there's not many, doesn't seem many. He was thinking about he'd like to go and do the islands and have a wander around the islands, but he's got this itch to go back. He's still got over a week left in his room he's paid for. And Ning's there. He thinks, we'll do that. So he finishes breakfast, across the road back on the McDonald's side, and there's 3 taxis lined up. Goes up to the first guy. How much? Krabi Airport. Guy says 400 baht, and he's like, And the guy's like, yeah, okay, he's being charged maybe a touch more, but never mind, 400 baht. So okay, get me up to the airport. Jumps in the cab, up to the airport, it's not far away. Gets to the airport, it's a smallish airport. Looks on the board. There's a couple of flights, an Air Asia and another flight. I think it's Nok Air or something. Over the next few hours there's a few flights, so goes to the desk, Air Asia, looks at the prices, goes to that Nok Air and looks at the prices. Air Asia's cheaper. But it's about 1400 baht one way, which is a lot. If you book in advance you get it for about 600-700 baht back then. But you walk in, you've got to pay more. Anyway, gets a ticket, one way to Bangkok. And it's Don Muan airport he's going to. In he goes, checks in, goes through security. He's got an hour, so grabs a coffee. That's it, he's done his visa run. So he's got another 30 days, get an extension in Pattaya. So that's the next 2 months taken care of, all sorted. No drama. So he flies up Bangkok, comes out the airport. Should he have a night in Bangkok? So many people have that thought. But it gets expensive. You have a night in Bangkok. Can be expensive. And he's thinking about it, and he's thinking about it. No, for the price of a taxi, 800 baht down to Pattaya, or a room at a hotel is going to be maybe 1000 baht. Then he's going to get drunk and into trouble, and he thinks, nope. Taxi. Jumps in the taxi. Pattaya. Hour and a half, 2 hours. Gets down to Pattaya, beach road, right at the end of Soi 4, drops him off, pays the guy for his rucksack. And he's like, this feels like home. It really does. And he thinks, right, I wonder if Ning's in the room, or I have to ring her to get the key, or she's left it. So, and he walks up, goes into the bar area. No Sue there, but the girl behind the desk there. He's like, key? She's got, oh, you come back. She's got, no key. Maybe Ning. Okay. So, up he goes upstairs, along the corridor, to the door. Tries the door, it's locked. Knocks on the door. And hear Ning or somebody inside, probably full of girls. He knocks on the door. Sure enough, door opens. Red hair. Remember that girl? He's like, hi. And walks in. And there's, what's he facing? Who's in there? Who do you think? Oh dear. Yes, red hair's there. Yes, M, that girl's there. Yes, Ning's there. Hi Ning. And that go-go girl's there. All 4 of them are in the room. And Ning's like, ah, Solimon. Jumps up, comes across, gives him a big hug. You're back early. Yeah, I just do visa. Oh, we finish room and we stay here for 2 weeks. Not have room. And he's like, yes. But we finished room. We have to stay here now for another week. It's about another 8 days. And he's like, oh God. Yeah, it's his own fault for coming back early. Because he had said to them, you can have the room. And he's like, oh well, 5 in a bed. What? That would be every guy's dream. And he's like, whatever. Throws his back in the corner. And he's like, nah, no problem, just we'll manage. And he's like, okay, cool. And she gets back into bed. And this is like mid-afternoon, and they're sleeping again. What are they like? Always sleeping or always eating? And he's like, oh dear. He thinks, anyway, I'm gonna get some food, he says. I'm hungry. I want a proper bit of food. Got the bike key? Yeah, over there by the TV. He grabs a bike key, and the fact he mentioned food, all of their ears like perked up. Like, where you go food? What, huh? No idea. Maybe by Mike's shopping mall. There's all them little Thai places there, you know. And they're like, food. It's just like an animal, you know. It's like food. And they're all sort of, you know, it's mid-afternoon. They've got a few hours before the girl, the go-go, is going to go off to work. And he mentioned food, and they know he's got a pocket full of money. And like, yeah, of course. We come with you. We come with you. He's like, nah. He said, no, it cost me money. I'll go on my own. But yeah, that's how it is. I'm not paying for this. I'll be broke if I keep paying. You've got a room free. That's it. Now I've got to share a room with 4 women. That's crazy. Dream, what the dream. And he says, no, I'm going. And he's just out the door he goes. Grabs a bike, down to Mike's shopping mall, and then sneaks up the lane at the side there. And there's all these lovely dishes, all these little cafes and open air food places. They do great food. You have so much choice. So he dives there, gets food. He's back in Pattaya. He's got the dream with the girls. He's got the bike, the room, all sorted. What more could a man want? But he's now starting to think about job. And he's thinking, how can I find a job? Is there such a thing as a bar job? You know, a manager's job? Is there such things? And he remembers that guy, the Belgium guy, was it? Was he Belgium or German? That beat him at pool so many times and said to him, come up and play pool, and he had his own bar. And he's thinking to himself, I wonder, because he mentioned something about he's got a bar and with somebody else. I wonder if he needs a manager. And he's starting to think, job, manager. Anyway, he finishes his food. It's what, about 4:30 in the afternoon. He thinks, I'm going to go up and see that guy. Worst scenario, I'll have a drink and play pool with him. So he jumps on the bike, whips around the one-way system, up Second Road to Dolphin Roundabout, then straight over into the Naklua Road, which is sort of heading back up to the main road. And he remembers the guy said it was on his right hand side, not far up. So he goes up a bit, there's quite a few bars there, does a U-turn and then crawls down. And the guy said it was near the roundabout, so he just parks his bike about 200 metres from the roundabout, just chucks it there, and jumps off the bike and just starts walking down towards the roundabout, looking in the bars, which one's got the best pool table. That'll give us a clue, that'll be the clue. Sure enough, 2 or 3 bars down, spots a nice table, and there's a couple of guys playing, and he just stands and looks, and one guy's bent down taking a shot, and he gets up, and it's him. He thinks, ah, found the bar. In he goes, walks across to the guys, and the guy turns around and like, shake hands as if they hadn't seen each other for ages, and yeah, the guy welcomed him in. Solomon orders a beer and sort of sits on the bar stool next to watching the guys play pool. The other guy, this Belgian guy or German, whatever's playing, seems quite good as well. I haven't seen him before. Yeah, they finish the game and the guy's like, "Want to play?" It's like, "Yeah, why not?" So he jumps in and takes this other guy's place, and they start knocking the balls around, start chatting. Sure enough, Solomon brings up the question, "I fancy doing a job, a bar manager job. How would I get one? You've got your own bar, what's the score?" And he's like, "Well, you can't really." He said, "You know, you're going to need a work permit, or if you don't get a work permit, you just got to be quiet. You can't go behind the bar. You know, you're just really managing customers, and trying to bring customers in." He said, "I can't help you." He said, "I share this business with a friend, and we take it in turns 3 months to run the bar." And he says to him, "I think the guy down at the Sharky's pool hall, he's something to do with the go-go bar. And he mentioned something about a job, a manager's leaving. He said, why don't you try him? There's a lead, information." So they carry on playing pool, have a good old game, a few more beers. They're getting on really well, but this makes it awkward for competitions because if they get too pally, it'll be hard on the competitions. Anyway, so there we go. We've run over quite a few minutes, but I'm not doing 30-minute videos, guys. So next time, Solomon's now on the hunt. He's back in Pattaya. He's on the hunt for a job. How will he get on? Will he really have to go back to his room that night and share it with 4 girls? That'd be a hard life. Imagine being stuck in that. It's only a double bed with 4. Such a hard life. See you on the next one. Bye.